Good day, everyone. This is Todd Book, and I'm here with Michael Jones from the University of Cincinnati Economics Center. He's the Director of Research. And several months ago, the Bar Association was concerned that there may be some taxes tried to be applied to legal services, so we wanted to be prepared for that type of a contingency. So we engaged Michael's university and their work to look and see what is the economic impact of attorneys on the state of Ohio's economy. Here's the report. Mike, what'd you find out?
So in this study, we looked at the direct employment that the legal services industry has in the state of Ohio. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we found that the legal services industry employs over 34,000 people. And not only is the industry responsible for the direct employment of 34,000 individuals, it's indirectly responsible for the creation of over 46,000 jobs as a result of the services and its employees' money that it spends in the Ohio economy. So that was a key finding that we did in the report. In terms of the wages that are paid, we found out the legal services industry generates over $2.2 billion in wages directly as a result of these employees. And in fact, the legal services industry, over $15,000 in taxes are paid by each employee that's employed in this industry.
Yeah, I saw that number. First off, about the $2.2 billion. That's a pretty big number. I mean, I was impressed by that. And then whenever you look at indirect wages as well, tell us about some of those numbers.
Yeah, indirectly, as a result of the spending, we see that there's over $3.5 billion in wages that are generated as a result of the spending in the legal services industry.
Can you compare that to other professions? I mean, where does attorneys stack up in that?
Sure. So a lot of the economic development growth in Ohio is focused on 9 key industries. These are the 9 industries that Jobs Ohio targets. And in fact, the only industry that actually pays more in taxes than the legal services industry is the financial services industry. So it's right there at the top if you were to put the legal services industry and rank it against those others.
And I went into law because I'm not so good at math, but if you add up the direct employees and the indirect employees, that's over 80,000 people in Ohio that are employed as a result of the legal industry.
That's correct. That's correct.
And when we talk about those numbers, would that be all attorneys, including like folks that work in-house or people that work in the government, or is that just private attorneys?
No, that's talking about private attorneys. So we're looking at the industry itself. So we're thinking about law firms, private law firms. We're not counting, for example, the attorney who works for a private company like a Procter & Gamble or a Cardinal Health. That is actually considered separately.
One thing that I didn't like, we do pay taxes on average a lot higher than the other professions. Do we just need better accountants? Is that the problem, or what's the deal?
You'll have to talk to the accountants about that.
Okay. Well, just so we have used your study, and members of the association know. We've used the study to go talk to legislative leaders to let them know the importance of the economic impact of the attorneys in the state of Ohio, and it's been well received. And we'll continue to make that pitch as months go by as the tax issue is further developed here in the State House. Any other interesting tidbits in there that we should know about?
Let me highlight 2 other important findings that came out as a result of this study. We looked at how much of the spending on legal services actually spent in Ohio. So when these manufacturing firms and healthcare firms, when they employ lawyers, they're actually 2/3 of their legal spending is based right here in Ohio. And that's a powerful story, I think, to tell to the legislator, is that a lot of the industries are spending their money on legal services right here in Ohio. We also didn't just look at the economic impact. I know you asked us to do that. But the other thing we looked at is the volunteer activities that the legal industry and lawyers employ. So we found that on average, lawyers are 4 to 8 times more likely to serve on a board, a nonprofit board, than otherwise would have expected. Again, maybe it's not being measured directly in terms of economic impact, but I think it's a powerful story to tell about how important the legal industry is in Ohio.
Yeah, we've talked to a lot of the folks through this show, letting just some of the volunteer work that happens across the state of Ohio, and lawyers are always involved, and they know that there's all of these boards that are out there, and everybody wants that free lawyer to be on the board to help them give them legal advice. So I want to thank you all for the work that you did. It's been very important for us, I know, as an association, and for folks that are watching. This will be on our website, on the legislative page on the website, so you can look at this full report. It's an interesting read, and something I think all lawyers should be proud of, and the fact of the economic impact that they do have on the state. Most people don't think of lawyers as being a small business, but that's exactly what we are.
That's right.
Well, Michael, thank you for coming and talking with us today. And once again, make sure and look for the report on the webpage. And we'll have reports in the future about the budget and what happens with this potential of taxing on services, including possibly legal services. Thanks.
Thank you.